Welcome everyone to our first session focused on local SEO audits. In this workshop, we will be focusing primarily on building out a local SEO offer and the framework and components needed to build out a compelling offer that your leads actually want to sign up for, and then how to generate leads or demand gen for that specific offer. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and we'll go ahead and get started. So I assume everyone can see my screen. Welcome to our workshop on SEO audits and services, focusing specifically on creating a compelling offer that your leads and customers want to buy into, and how to generate leads for that specific offer. My name is Clifford Almeida. For those of you who don't know me, I am an agency founder, like many of you, and I am also the founder of Audit. My mantra is that sales don't just happen, you need to create them. And the best way to do that is to deliver value, establish your authority, and your expertise. And audits are the best way, in my opinion, to do that. In the process of starting my business over 2 decades ago, I started out by offering websites for $400 and SEO for $200 or $300 a month. And then now over the last decade, I'm grateful to be able to have said that we positioned ourselves to help, for the most part, 7- and 8-figure companies with their website and online presence. And now we've closed projects upwards of 6 figures, and most of our SEO projects at the lowest end start at $800 a month and go up to $2,500+ a month, depending on the services they are looking for. The good news is whatever I'm covering today, as far as the offer, how to execute on it and generate demand for that offer, will work for you no matter who you're working for, whether you are offering a $100 or $200 offer of some sort for local SEO, or whether you're charging thousands of dollars, whether you're working for small mom and pop businesses or large companies. All right. Our focus in this workshop and the next set of series in SEO will be on local SEO though. All right. There will be at least 3 workshops. I'm thinking 4, depending on whether we do a Q&A session or not. And the first one, which we're covering on this workshop, is again on offer creation and demand generation. Next week, we will be focusing on generating and analyzing audits. So generating them in Audit, analyzing the insights so we can identify what opportunities are there, potentially analyze the competition to see what expectations need to be set. We will be covering an offer that is focused on closing a smaller deal where you are looking to drive results within 6 to 8 weeks, or maybe 12 weeks at the most. And not every prospect that you speak to is going to be a good fit for that. And so we'll talk about what metrics to look at, or what metrics we look at in our agency to do that. Workshop number 3 will be, again, how to take the audits, present them, and then close the deal. And then lastly, depending on the demand we have there, we'll probably go through a Q&A session where I talk about the FAQs in SEO and how to address things like objections, how to handle fulfillment, whether it's white label or looking for a partner that can help you. And I'm looking to hopefully bring on Lindsay from Pathfinder SEO, where she has a done with you model with her team, where you, in essence, get to learn and work with them along the way to level up on your SEO skills. Okay, so again, we are starting with building out a compelling offer for SEO services. For those of you that were part of the GBP workshop with us, you're going to see a lot of familiarity in this, because it doesn't matter what framework, what offer you're putting in, the framework for the most part is going to be the same. My recommendation for many of you is to look at this to say, hey, how do I take this framework and apply it to build out offers for many of my other agency services? Or potentially, how can you as a consultant use this framework to build offers out, leveraging AI and questions and answers from your customers to build out compelling offers for them? And that's a great productized service you could potentially do, something that we do in our agency. Okay. The good news though is, for those of you here that are agency annual customers or pro annual customers, you will get access. All right, so just know if you're on the pro annual plan, you get access to 2 of our done for you funnels. If you're on the agency annual plan, and as I know many of you here are, you'll get access to up to 4 funnels, right? So as of right now, the 2 funnels we have are the GBP and the SEO, and next month we will be launching the one for websites. So if you happen to be someone who focuses heavily on web services, and you're on the pro annual, my recommendation is to pick between the GBP and the SEO, because there's probably at least 60-70% overlap there, and then wait for the web design funnel, or obviously you can upgrade into the agency annual to get all of them. No more plugins there. I just wanted to be mindful to educate you, because I don't want you to opt in for this funnel and then realize you won't get the next one. All right, unless you're on the agency annual, you get 4, pro annual, you get 2. If you're on a monthly plan, there is no way to pay for this or get it. We've spent thousands of dollars with our copywriter working on this, and our honestly days of time back and forth to get it together, right? So this is just, I have unlocked the first 3 emails to get some demand generation going. We'll cover that a little bit later on. Okay, but for those of you that are looking to figure out how to build out a framework for offer creation, and you want to tweak the offer we create or just build one up on your own, the 3 things that you need to consider are the target audience, the pain points, and the desired outcomes. Once you have that put in place, then you need to keep in mind what other things you put together to ensure that you have a very compelling value prop to ensure that that offer is solid. All right. So when we think about target audience, you need to ensure that you have a service that can potentially solve their problem. So in the context of local SEO, what I would be saying to you is, do not try to offer local SEO to an e-commerce company that is on the national level, right? You want to work with generally contractors or small businesses that serve a specific city, or maybe even a range of a state or a province if needed, if you expand past that. But local SEO generally should be like 30 to 50 miles maybe or less from their service area. All right, you need to ensure that whoever you're targeting, in essence, has the purchasing power and cash flow to pay for your services, right? So in the case of our agency, the lowest plan we have is $800 a month for local SEO, right? So working with a barber, it's going to take a lot of haircuts, or hair salon, a lot of cuts for us to get ROI for them, versus working with a HVAC company where putting an AC unit might be $3,000 to $5,000, or a kitchen remodeler where $10,000 to $15,000 may be a small kitchen remodel, right? So it's significantly faster to drive ROI than it is for a lower transaction value customer. So when we pick a target niche or niche, we highly recommend working with someone that you can get in front of, right? So if you use social media, that you're in groups with them. If you use, for example, a podcast, that they're listening to it. If you are cold calling, that you have the ability to pick up the phone and speak to them, versus having to go through a bunch of gatekeepers. You want to ensure that they have an expensive pain point or very painful problem that your service can solve, and that they can easily pay for your services. Once you have that, it's really, really important for you to be able to figure out what those pain points are so that your offer can address them, right? So one of the things that I wanted to show you here is when we were doing the research for our SEO productized offer, right? We had to identify our ICP, our ideal customer profile, what their pain points were, and how to address them. I'm not going to go through each one of these, but like an example for the small businesses that we were working with, even for the most part, like a small concrete business here in the state of Arizona is going to be a 7-figure business, right? So they have low visibility and low traffic. When we're addressing that pain point, we're able to say something like, is your website buried in the depths of search engine results? Right? Gain the visibility you deserve and ensure that the potential customers or your potential customers find your business first versus the competition, right? So that's how we address a pain point. And these are the other compelling pain points. Amongst others, we researched these were the 4 most impactful ones. Interestingly enough, when we talk about construction companies, many of them aren't looking to get that $5 or $10 million new building build from the website. They just want brand awareness. And then when they're doing marketing for staffing, for example, many of them are looking to find the right talent to work for them because safety and turnover is a very expensive problem. We can speak to that pain point as well as desired outcome of building a brand authority. So when they go to a conference and they do a trade show and someone Googles them, they have a solid web presence, and then ultimately they're getting a better ROI from that trade show presentation or workshop or booth that they put in place, right? So again, ensuring that you know what the pain points are going to be able to have you effectively map out desired outcomes. So in this case, we're talking about low visibility, lack of leads, which just generally means that they're not generating the revenue they want. They're losing potential revenue to the competition, and ultimately they have a lack of time and expertise to solve this in their business. So they're looking for someone who can help them with that. And so the desired outcome is, hey, look, we have a proven result and process that can help drive ROI. We can get you more visibility, get you more leads, which means more customers, which means ultimately additional revenue, right? Growth for your business. Marketing ROI, this works really well, whether they have business cards or pamphlets or print ads. Ultimately, when someone sees that and goes to Google and looks for their brand or looks for those services, they get found and it increases the ROI. Okay, once you have that in place, it's really important to ensure that you have a compelling value proposition. And in order to do that, you need to ensure that you have an offer that meets them wherever they're at. On the next slide, here I'll be speaking to you specifically about pricing and some of the offers that we have in place. But for us, that means ensuring that we have an offer where we can just do the audit and do a Q&A consulting. So that's one simple productized offer at a couple of $100. That's something that we very rarely do. Then we have another offer, which is we run the SEO audit for up to 4 pages, and we optimize them for $250 a page. They can add as many as they want after that, but really it's $250 a page, a minimum of 4 pages. We run the audit and then we optimize it. Once they're interested in that, possibly that's what they do. We get them in the door, and then over time we sell them into a monthly reoccurring SEO service, which starts at $800 and then goes up depending on what they need. Or we have a productized offer, which is the higher visibility offer that I mentioned here. This one ranges around $3,000, and that's like a 90-day sprint, right? So ensuring that you have a tiered offer to give them is really important. Ensuring that you're able to measure results along the way, right? The low-hanging fruit are obviously picking effective keywords, identifying where they're ranking, looking at Google Analytics for traffic, and then measuring the number of calls and form submissions and things like that. I kind of covered that when we manage GBPs. We're also looking at how many clicks to the website, how many calls, how many driving directions. All of those are signs of key performance indicators that, as they go up, are leading indicators of ROI that we're delivering based off of our services. Okay, and then it's really important for your offer to have some sort of social proof. So for example, in our business, it's like 200x in revenue gained, 600x in, or 6x, not 600x, 600%, or 6x in traffic generated over X period of time, right? Those are all the things that you need to put together in order to ensure that you have a compelling offer. Okay. Again, if you have questions, happy to answer them at the end. Understanding this, it's really important for you to keep the following things into consideration once you have the offer, right? Is how and where do you present the offer along the customer buying journey? So in my agency, this is the experience I'm going to be giving you. Our first thing is to ensure that we take our lead magnets and we put them on the homepage, we put them on the SEO services page. We analyze our blog to identify what blogs ultimately are connected to SEO and have that intent of SEO. And then we'll put a widget that says, interested in understanding how you rank, or would you like to gain more insights into your SEO or your online visibility? Click here, and then they opt in for the lead magnet. Once they opt in for the lead magnet, they then get the offer of, hey, pick a strategy call time, and we'll do a complete analysis and bring that to you on a strategy call. On the strategy call, we go through the consultation, we review the audit with them, and then we promote based off of where their budget is. we have an idea. If it's 3,000 or more, we'll tell them, hey, move directly, possibly into a monthly retainer. If they say something like we only have like $2,000 to $4,000, then our recommendation is the higher visibility plan. If they say they have under $1,500, at that point, then we are looking at that productized offering of 4 pages, audited and optimized. And that'll again range around $1,000, and then we'll use that $500 to build out a game plan for other SEO work they can do or consulting. Okay. And if they have less than $1,000, at that point, my job is to just say, hey, look, you can pay for this report and I can answer your questions for an hour, or you can take it and run with it. And then that's like the lowest offering that we have. And I would probably say it's been about 2 years since we've actually just had someone pay for the audit and run with it. Most of the time, because we qualify heavily, we're moving them into some sort of productized service that's $1,000 or more. Okay. And again, the idea is to be able to present a solution that works for them and ensure that you're positioning it as an investment, not a cost, because you're looking to drive results for them one way or the other. Okay. And we'll talk about results on another call or during the Q&A, but the idea here is not to just take people's money, but to be able to understand that your services can deliver results, and know for the right people you can do that, and for those you can't, because expectations need to be set. Look, if you have nothing done and you're in a competitive niche, we probably can't do anything for you for $1,000. And that's just the reality, being able to say no, right? And at that point, you have to be able to position what services work best for you. As I mentioned, audit only at the lowest point, audit and consult, maybe a 4-page or a 6-page or even a 2-page SEO optimization strategy. And then you move up into higher productized services like the high visibility offer. And just because we're speaking about that offer, I'll kind of go in here and I might need to log in. Let me just log in here so I can show you what that offer looks like. So just so you know, like this is a high level overview of the offer. The idea is increasing visibility, traffic, and customers in 90 days or less. What we're offering them is they share their details with us. We go through some Q&A with them. They get a comprehensive on-page SEO audit. We then go through and build out an optimization plan, starting with keyword research, optimization recommendations, and content strategy. The cool part is our new SEO audit with the AI insights. Let me just kind of show this to you. So this is the typical SEO report that you would have seen in our platform right now. As we launch the AI insights, it actually analyzes that in the form of a digital or virtual chief marketing officer and strategist, and literally comes back out and says, based off of any opportunities we found, here's what we would do. And it actually analyzes the competition for the keyword, and it puts together information from meta tags to headings to FAQs, all kinds of insights based off of what the competition has and what we've scanned their websites, as well as a long list of prompts and research that we put in together to, in essence, save you hours and hours of time, right? So the cool part with what we've built now in place is that if you aren't the best strategist, you literally can take our reports and follow them and edit them as needed and implement them, versus having to do all that research, which would have taken you 2 to 4 hours, probably a page to do, okay? There are some SEOs on here. So my hope is, as you look through this, you really are looking at this and saying like, wow, this is going to help save me a ton of time. And then we have FAQs at the end. So this is like that landing page offer, but the whole funnel starts with, 3 emails that you can send to your customers, past leads, or just your list that you've built over the years. Then from that offer, if they're interested, it takes them to a landing page. On this landing page, then there's a form. They fill out that form. It then takes them to a thank you page. There's a VSL script if you want to put that on there. And then we have a whole bunch of resources on getting them to booking the next call, as well as what happens when they don't show up. And if they do show up, how do you prepare them for that meeting? All of that is been written and planned out. You just need to take it and run with it. We are integrating with Go High Level. We've been working with them back and forth. The integration has been completed, and we have submitted it for approval. For those of you who use Go High Level and are on an annual plan, Our hope is once that is completed, the approval is completed and we're live, the next step is to build out a snapshot. So you'll be able to do a one-click snapshot from here and be able to implement this entire funnel into your Go High Level setup. All right. So that's the really cool part of things that are coming into place. It's really important when you are building this offer is to identify, do you want to go free versus paid? As I mentioned, in our agency, we work with 7- and 8-figure businesses. And so I'm offering this for free. They never get the report. They will get the audit completed and presented to them for free. And then I take it from there. And obviously, it's really important for you to understand who you serve. Because if you're working with smaller businesses and you're working maybe in a different part of the world, they may not be able to afford the same thing a larger company here in the US, or for example, in New York or DC or LA can versus Kansas, right? In just smaller cities in America or in the UK, Australia, wherever you're listening, it's really important to understand where you are in the world, who you're serving, and what their cash flow looks like. And honestly, at some point, really, what's the value being delivered? They have to be able to have the same perceived value of your services as what you're charging for it. Otherwise, they're not going to invest in it, right? And the best way to do that is to be able to focus on ROI. We have an ROI calculator that we use inside my web audit that is really, really simple to plug in some data to be able to future pace them into understanding what 30%, for example, of more traffic and 3% conversion rates versus 2, which is really a 50% bump, looks like. And that's a really easy way for them to understand that whatever they're paying you for is really an investment and not a cost or expense. Okay. And as I mentioned before, once you know and have an offer, it's really important to understand what services work really well with it so you can cross-sell or upsell them. And for us in our agency, that really means when someone's gone through a productized offer, we can offer them local SEO. We do not do much reputation management. We refer them out for that. And we do not do social media management. I just offered these as examples in our agency. It's content creation, ongoing SEO, and paid ads that really just come out of that offering, as well as obviously web design and optimization services. Okay. So now that you have an idea of what an offer is, similarly to what we discussed in the last workshop, if you haven't checked that out, feel free to go back to YouTube or our Facebook group and you'll see them. But my go-to, instead of like cold outreach, etc., has been to leverage my list of existing customers and past customers of people who've opted in for our blog and newsletters and offer out in front of them, right? So the first thing is leveraging your existing list. For those of you, are interested, these emails have already been vetted and edited. All you have to do is take them, make sure that you use your tone of voice. There's even alternative additional subject lines for you to consider, right? And send these out manually or through your CRM to your list, okay? These aren't going to work as well for cold email. So again, I understand these were based off of what we created, and all 3 of these are unlocked. No matter what, whether you're a customer or not, you should be able to come here and be able to get access to this, okay? Next is social media. Very similarly to what we did before as well. This really does work. It's worked for people back years and years ago. It's also worked for people recently. And the idea there is really something as simple as this. Again, I'm not going to dive deep into this, but the reality is you can jump into LinkedIn and Facebook groups where your audience is, or if you've built a connection of people on Facebook, you can literally, or LinkedIn on your timeline, you literally could use messaging like this, right? You can take these messages, go into Gemini or GPT and create a couple of different ones as well. But these ones are ones that are proven. I do not do this type of stuff because I do not do, hey, DM me or I'll DM you type of stuff. But this is a little more salesy. This is more value-driven approach. Again, if you are a pro or annual customer, or even monthly, some of these playbooks are unlocked for you. So for example, this playbook and this playbook is unlocked for anybody, but this one is on annual plans because it has a bunch of resources and templates. If you want, you can kind of come in here and identify, what groups to look for, how to find the groups, how to set up group engagement. We have templates for how to do all of this, right? So if you're looking for a framework, this goes really well with these templates, and this playbook has a bunch more templates that you can use, and obviously leverage AI to customize them to your tone of voice and your audience. Okay, so this is again stuff you can implement now without having to buy anything right off the bat to start getting demand for your services. Okay, here is another resource that is not gated or locked in by a specific plan. If you even get one person who opts in for an audit, then this referral model is really, really good. I'm not a big fan of asking for referrals generally, because it ultimately leads to a customer needing to sell my services to someone in their network, right? And so I built this model up of leveraging audits to be able to give back by adding value and not having to feel like the person has to buy anything from me, right? So the idea is something like, hey, John, thank you so much for going through this process. I'm glad that you found the audit valuable and you signed up for X service with us for local SEO. I just want to let you know I'm a big believer in giving back. And if you do agree with that, my recommendation is for you to look for 3 people in your business network that you think I could run through the same process with. I'm happy to run through the audit. Obviously, because of the time and effort it takes, I highly recommend you refer people that you think could really benefit from it. And look, no sales pitch at all. The reality is I will go through the audit presentation, answer their questions. If they are interested, happy to work with them. If not, they can take the insights that we have shared with them and have their team or try to apply it themselves, right? So it's a really low ask at that point. I've reduced the barrier to entry, and I'm again leading with value. So it becomes much easier than, hey, you know, I offer web design services, as you now know, or SEO services, as you now know. Could you refer me to 3 people who you think could benefit from my SEO services, which is, in my opinion, a bigger ask, right? So for those of you that are like, well, you know, we have no customers, we really have no leads, we have no one in a list because we've not built up a CRM, right? Some of you may want to default to outbound, right? And so if you follow the approach of something like, hey, my name is Cliff, I offer SEO services, I can get you to the top of page 1, hit reply and let me know, you'll probably get crickets, right? You'll probably end up getting fatigued. I don't know if any of you watched The Hangover, right? Like you'll be burnt out, you'll have a headache and be hopeless and probably lost and broke. And my recommendation is, if there are some of you here that really have no other way to drive demand because you have no list, you're not really active on social media, you're not willing to maybe jump into groups and lead with value, and you do want to reach out to people, then my recommendation is for you to figure out your target audience and understand how you can help someone. Once you have that in place, go to Google and look for people, right? So for example, HVAC companies, roofers in X city, you know, or kitchen remodelers in Phoenix, for example. And then look at position in the maps, look at position 5 through 7. On the SERPs, look at positions 4 or 5 through to 10, and, you know, see if they're running ads. Ultimately, if they're running ads, then you know that they care about driving results and they have some budget, right? So they're easy people to reach out to say, hey, you know, my name's Cliff. I was looking for kitchen remodelers in Phoenix. I realized you're running ads, but in the local SERP, you're in this and this position. Here's a quick video of a couple of things that I would recommend you do to be able to get better results. If you would like an actionable audit with dozens of points, please click here, you know, to book a call, or click here to fill out this form. And that's the approach I would take because of 2 things. One, you know, they're spending money, and let's just say they're not spending money. You know that if they're in position 4 through 10, then, or at least 4 through 7, with a little bit of work, you can probably drive ROI, and that's a great case study group option. Or it's just a good way to be able to understand that those people care at some capacity because they're at position 4, 5, 6, and 7, that you could show them a quick video or an audit that would be more compelling to say like, hey, look, if you just get into position 3 or 2, you're able to increase 20 or 30 or 40% more inquiries and traffic to your website. And that becomes very compelling versus trying to randomly reach out to people and say, hey, I can get you better results, right? So if you're looking for an outbound approach, then my recommendation is quality and personalization over quantity, a 2 to 3 minute Loom video or whatever tool you use that ultimately adds some value based off of what you know about SEO, and then get them to opt in for a strategy call to be able to go in depth on your insights. Okay. So if you've enjoyed this, My Web Audit, our Facebook group, is a great place for you to join the conversation, ask questions, and not just get input from me, but from other agency owners and freelancers in this space. Our YouTube channel is a great place for you to like, subscribe, and follow so that you can get recordings and other training similar to this. As I've mentioned before, it's really, really important for you not to just dream big. For those of you who've jumped on here, obviously you want to learn, you have a vision of a better tomorrow for yourself. So it's really, really important for you to not just consume this content, but to set goals, right? Say, who are 5 people I can send this out to, and what sort of follow-up can I have in place for them, right? So again, leveraging ChatGPT or Gemini, you literally could put this in and say, hey, generate 3 value-driven follow-up emails, right? So you can follow up with the people you email, you can pick up the phone and talk to them because people are busy. Take action, and I'm confident from these resources and the training that we're going to be putting in place over the next couple of weeks that you will be able to drive ROI from SEO. Now, if you don't do SEO at all and you're interested to learn more, that's what the next few workshops are. And we will be bringing in people that you can work with to white label, if you're looking to white label, partner up with, if you're looking to partner up with, and then, as I mentioned, potentially working with Pathfinder SEO to see if you could do a learn as you go model with your customers, all right? From people who do this and have been working on websites and SEO for well over a decade. Cool. I hope you have found this valuable.